Hello everyone, this is Remleiz and 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of Adeptus Podcastus. Joining me as always is Tactica Imperialis.
Hello everyone.
Now, no guest this week because we're getting ready for the next episode, which will have quite a few guests because it is episode 175 for the next episode, as you all know, and the return of Quizcastus, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we couldn't wait till 200. We just got straight back on with the job because it was far too much fun.
Exactly. So in the meantime, we're going to focus this episode mainly on trying to get your questions out of the way after a very, very brief Cliff Notes version of the news, because there really isn't that much. It was mostly faction-focused stuff for 10th edition, but the real big news that came out this week was the last chance to buy stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about this, obviously, several days before the episode comes out, and even already, this article was posted on the 18th, which is the Thursday before we recorded, and by the time we're recording this, every single one of these last chance to buy models is already sold out. Like, seriously, they went super quick. It really feels like the scalper market is going a little bit mad at the moment with everything that happened with the boarding patrols and all the stuff with
Ashes
the lion.
of Faith that happened today as well.
Yeah, Ashes of Faith today. I think the same thing has happened. There's a real scalper problem due to Games Workshop's limited stock, seeming that they're having.
It's not just that. It's the fact that Games Workshop, whenever the pre-order drops, they are very reluctant to implement the queue system. Because, like, when Indomitus dropped, they implemented the queue system, and that made pretty much everyone who wanted a copy got a copy. If you got to the site on time, granted you had to wait 15, 20 minutes or whatever, but you had a better chance of getting a copy.
Yeah.
With Ashes of Faith today, they literally sold out. Like, the pre-order went on sale at $9.55. They were sold out by $9.56. And they're already on eBay for like 200 quid each.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And do you know what else they did with Indomitus that they don't do anymore?
A made-to-order.
A made-to-order system, where they said, if you don't get one, doesn't matter. If you order one, it might take a while, but you will get one.
I think they actually ended up doing that with Curse City as well, didn't they?
Maybe. Can't remember.
Because there's such a debacle when it dropped, and then about 6 months later they said, we're going to put it on made to order, and everyone was like, hooray, thank fuck for that.
Yeah, it's I understand they've got limited supply issues at the moment, but they've got to do something about this issue with scalping, because when you have a very regimented release window and a very premium product and a very high fear of missing out hobby, which they do because of the constant turnover of new stuff, there's a constant fear of missing out. They need to make sure they can provide for everybody. And if that means everything is made to order to avoid people scalping it for eBay, then that means everything is made to order.
I think that actually would be better for box games at the very least, but put everything on a made-to-order basis. Like 10th edition box set, it's going to be going up on pre-order. The pre-orders are all made to order, so everyone who wants a copy will get a copy.
Yeah, to be honest, it shouldn't just be box games. It should be your box sets. Things like Start Collectings and Combat Patrols and things like that.
You know what I mean, though, basically. Anything boxed.
Yeah. Like, if it's not an individual kit, then it should go on made to order, because it's been 2 months and there's generally eBay has run out of far sites not less than £200. The scalper market has gone so far that they've run out of scalp stock. It's ridiculous. And I understand there's a lot of popular miniatures, and I get all that, and they really drive the hype, which is brilliant because it means more people are interested. But it also means that scalpers, and yes, you know who you fucking are, stop it, are making an absolute killing off of the back of the fact that GW can't sort their systems out. So I think they need to do a made-to-order system at the barest of minimums.
Or at least implement the queue system.
Or even better than a queue system, a X per order system to stop people who are in the queue from buying 10 at a time.
In fairness, when the queue system was previously implemented, everything was limited to like a set number, for example, with the boxed sets, like with Indomitus, it was limited to one per order.
Yeah.
Which in conjunction with a queue system, is good, because I mean, that maximizes people's chances of actually getting a copy. Granted, it's not everyone will get a copy just because of, limited quantities in general.
Yeah.
But it's better than everyone just scrambling, at 9.55 and everything being sold out by 9.56.
Yeah, because if you have a lie-in, you don't get your models. If you have breakfast at the wrong time, you don't have any models. It's really, really, really frustrating. As someone who, can't just sit there, refresh. I haven't got the time for that. I haven't got the patience for that. So, no, just do something. Like, maybe don't need a queue, or the queue should be long enough that it can accommodate a certain amount unless it's a major release. But X per order or made to order needs to be implemented quickly.
But we're digressing in regards to this. The last chance to buy stuff. This includes the classic box Snort, as well as was it Sternguard Veterans were another thing that was going as well?
Yeah, so basically everything that's in Leviathan. So the Dreadnought, the Sternguard, and the Terminators are going on last chance to buy. But in addition, a giant pile of Forge World stuff is also gone. So all the old Contemptor variants on Forge World are gone.
The Salamander's Venerable Dreadnought's gone. The Dimacron's gone. The Necron Night Shroud Bomber's gone.
Asterion Moloch.
War Boss on Bike.
Tyberos. Angelos.
There is also now literally no Age of Sigmar models available on Forge World at all, because all the demons have gone as well. Yep. Every single one of them. Not just because they've gone on last chance to buy, they've literally all sold out at this point.
Yeah. So that's the Bloodthirster, the Great Unclean One, Keeper of Secrets, Lord of Change, the
Khorne Demon Prince with Herald, and the Nurgle Demon Prince with Herald.
The Nurgly one isn't very AOS-y because it's got a whack-off gun, if I'm completely
That's because it's
honest.
meant to represent Deacon Mammon from Siege of Vrax.
Yeah, get that.
I'm pretty sure the Khorne Demon Prince also is meant to represent Asbaramael as well from that.
Yeah, probably. The model I'm going to miss the most, to be honest, is the Warboss on Bike. Like, I know the Deathkiller Wartrike exists.
Yeah.
I get the Deathkiller Wartrike exists, but it just isn't the same. And if you want to do Wazdaka, well, you can't.
It's a great basis for it.
Well, it's partly because...
it was a great basis for it, rather.
Yeah, because the Deathkiller Wartrike was manned by 2 orcs. It was a boss on the back of a buggy trike thing with a pilot driving it. Whereas this was a boss on bike, which more accurately represented Wazdaka if you weren't converting it. So that is one model I'm definitely going to miss.
I'm going to miss the Big Meggy. I know you're not a big fan of that particular model, but I'm going to miss that just because, like, you can't really get Big Mechs anywhere else, can you?
No, if you want a Big Mech, you've got to buy the Meganobs kit, unless you want to buy the little teensy mech that's not actually a Big Mech, which is terrible. And
I also feel sorry for Red Scorpion, Blood Raven, and Minotaur players because all their special characters have gone.
Mm-hmm.
All of them, like, no, Carib Cullen's sold out, Asterion Moloch's gone, Gabriel Angelos is gone. No, in fairness, the Gabriel Angelos model was absolutely hideous with his gigantic forehead. Like, literally, his eyes were down where his nose should be, and his rest of it was just forehead.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a character model out of Big Mouth or something. Topical humour.
Very much so. Yes. There's, like I say, not a lot in the news, but I do want to talk about one of the faction focuses, because one...
I think it's Tau.
Yes, Tau. Because it also gives you an insight into sort of what you can expect if your faction hasn't come out yet. So you might have not really looked and just like, where's my army, where's my army, where's my army? And they haven't done it yet. So this will give you an idea of what to expect if you've not been reading along. So you get to see the army special rule, your detachment special rule, and then a few data sheets, weapons, and stratagems that maybe synergize with the army or just are representative units.
Yeah.
So the Tau have gone down the Shadow Sun route for their first detachment, which is unsurprising, if a little sad. But their army rule, which will be the case no matter which version of Tau you play, this is your core rule. It's for the greater good, and it's probably the most complicated one. So what they've done is basically they've allowed units to work in pairs. So what you do is when you pick a unit to shoot, it can be named as a guided unit. Yeah, so you select one, and that is your guided unit. And then you pick another unit that can shoot, that isn't a fortification, that isn't under battle shock, and it becomes an observer. So this is how marker lights now work. Marker lights are just a faction-wide ability where each unit spots for another. And what you do is you spot an enemy unit, and if you shoot it with your guided unit, you get +1 to hit. And if the observer unit has marker lights, so it's marker drones, pathfinders, whatever, then the attack has ignores cover, which is really useful because it stops the enemy gaining +1 save. However, as a trade-off for this basically turn your tower into Space Marines but better ability, an observer unit cannot be guided, I think. So an observer unit cannot be guided. So once it is spotting, it cannot be spotted for. So it can't be buffed. You can't just do a little triangle of buffs.
Right.
And in addition, if you don't shoot the spotted unit, so you split fire or you decide to reevaluate as you go, then you are -1 to hit. So if you'd want to split fire, you're actually punished for using this ability.
Okay.
It's actually really interesting. I kind of like it because with Overwatch being reduced to a stratagem, Tau's main gimmick of being supportive to one another kind of went away. So I'm glad they've got this sort of synergy back with each other.
Yeah, completely understandable, yeah.
Yeah. They're
It's very characterful as well.
Yes, it is, definitely. And actually, they showed the Pathfinder data sheet, which allows them to be an observer twice. So they can actually spot for 2 units instead of 1 as their sort of unique ability.
Ah. Interesting.
Yeah. The detachment rule is called Kalyon, so that's the Patient Hunter, that's Shadow Sun's gimmick. Essentially, what it says is from turn 3 onwards, your guns have sustained hits. What that means is exploding 6s. So if you roll a 6 to hit, a nat 6, then you get an additional hit. So let's say you roll 20 shots and roll 2 6s with 10 hits, then you'll have 12 hits instead because you add 2 more hits. It's all right on paper, but it's really good if you're synergizing the guide, because if you are guided in your attack, then you get sustained hits too, meaning that every nat 6 counts as 3 hits instead of 1.
Bloody hell.
Indeed. Now, I'm very curious to see what the Montcar ability will be for the first 3 battle rounds, when that comes out later, probably with the Codex. But still, very interesting.
Yeah. Quick question. Since Shadow Sun is Kalyon, Farsight's Montcar, right?
Yes.
What was Kais?
Monat.
Monad, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
The silent was the Lone Hunter, wasn't it? Monad?
Something like that, yeah.
The Lone Wolf.
Something along those lines. I forget the direct translation, but it's all about being a soloist, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that has been interesting for Tau players, and this is a little bit sad, drones are not units anymore.
Well, they're just like glorified accessories now.
They're equipment, yeah.
Ah.
So if you... sorry.
Because I had it in my mind for a brief moment, like, oh, is it going to be like, like 4th edition fantasy with Skaven? The Skaven clan right units, like you can have like an attachment to the unit. You can have like a warp fire for it or a pair of globadiers.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
So in 5th, 6th, 7th, and 9th, that's how it used to be. Drones were attached to a unit as like extra models in the unit that didn't count for leadership. But now they are treated as equipment that give you war gear abilities. So that's why the Pathfinder sheet has war gear abilities for its 3 unique drones. So you don't actually, you can put the models on the board, but they're not models that you can kill or anything like that.
Got it.
And what it's done is it means that, so gun drones give you an extra gun, obviously. Guardian drones give you -1 to wound with shooting attacks against you. Marker drones give you marker lights and run and observe, which is kind of nice because you're not eligible to shoot when you advance, but you still are with a marker drone.
Yeah.
Shield drones just give the model +1 wound. So a Tau commander with 2 shield drones just gets +2 flat wounds. But crucially, no invulnerable save. So it'll be curious to see how Tau commanders get an invulnerable save now. It'll have to be the shield generator.
Certainly seems like it. We'll find out when the codex drops, eventually.
Finally, they showed off 2 guns and a stratagem. The railgun is strength 20. Lol.
And what was the other one?
The other is the Storm Surge Cannon, which is, when focus fired, has the heavy ability for +1 to hit when you don't move, 2 attacks, BS4+, 3 up if you don't move or are spotted for, strength 24, AP -6, damage 12.
Jesus,
what that
strength
means...
24?
Yeah, what that means is it will be wounding all but the toughest vehicles on 2s, because remember, a lot of vehicle toughness has been increased above toughness 10, so you'd have to be toughness 13 or higher not to be wounded on 2s. AP minus...
Basically, bye-bye Rhino.
AP -6 means even if you have a 2-up save and cover, you don't get an armor save. And damage 12 means it can one-shot most light vehicles like Rhino. So to put it clearly, if that gun hits a Rhino, it hits on 3s, wounds on 2s, instant kill.
So basically, you could say that this is going to make a Rhino an endangered species.
Terrible. Terrible. I don't know if it's the most powerful gun. I've forgotten what the Volcano Cannon's gun has, but either way...
Wasn't that something stupid like strength 30 or something dumb like that?
It's something dumb. I've forgotten the exact number. And finally, we get to see a Kauyon stratagem, which is basically when you charge an infantry unit next to a transport, your unit can just embark inside the transport.
Ah.
So let's say you get your fire warriors out of a devilfish, do a massive killing strike at close range, and your opponent says, actually, I'm orcs or nids or whatever, I'm going to run in and charge you and cut you apart in melee. Actually, no, you don't. You can charge my toughness 10 devilfish and cry about it.
Oh boy.
Indeed. It's going to be fun because that's proper Fish of Fury nonsense.
I was going to make a Simpsons joke about the flying hellfish, but there we go.
So yes, I wanted to do that one just because I am the Tau girl and I wanted to talk about it. But it is just really interesting how they're making each army feel really unique. You can go through all the other ones: Marines, Chaos, Necrons, Guard, Demons, Death Guard. Actually, I'm going to find the Volcano Cannon in the Guard article. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. No, the Volcano Cannon is strength 24, AP -5, damage 12, but it has the blast ability and extra attacks.
Right.
So it's about as powerful as the Storm Surge gun, but with 4 times the range.
And a blast.
And blast.
Fair enough.
So yes, that's the faction focus I wanted to do. It was just because I have not talked about much of it yet, and that's my army. I would talk about the Orcs one, but they haven't written it yet.
Yeah.
Shame.
It'll probably be a while anyway, but anyway.
Probably.
But yeah, that's pretty much it really for the news. Just made to, well, the last chance to buy and faction focus. We're not going to go into every faction's faction focus because
we'll be here till bloody Christmas. Yeah. One little PSA. Warhammer TV will be doing a live event on Thursday, which is the Skulls Festival of Video Games. So you can get to see all the video game previews and sneak peeks and stuff. And it's going to be hosted by Rahul Kohli, who's the person who's voicing the lead in Bolt Gun.
Okay. Oh, speaking of Bolt Gun, one thing I did learn, which was quite interesting, when I watched the trailer for it, this game is connected to Space Marine, because there's a line in the trailer where your player character says, like, I will finish what Captain Titus started. It's like, oh. So it's like a little mid-quel / side-quel spin-off of Space Marine.
Yeah, because it does
apparently
say...
it's the same Forge World as well.
Yeah, it did say at the start of the trailer, it said the Forge World of Graia. I was like, Graia? Why is it always Graia? I've heard that name before. That's Space Marine World. And then right at the
Forge World
end...
of Graia because it's the only one that Sega has the rights to use.
So yeah, I did hear that name and I was like, no. And then they said a thing at the end and I was like, yes. And... good news, they actually did a sort of like 7 to 9 minute gameplay trailer. No commentary, no nothing. And they actually showed some of the actual proper combat gameplay. And the Vengeance Launcher is back.
Fucking hell. The most useless weapon in Space Marine. Hooray.
Yeah, but you get to use it. Plasma gun, melter gun, bolt gun, storm bolter, shotgun. A Space Marine with a shotgun. Haven't seen that in a while. Well, there isn't a scout.
Oh, or outside the Death Watch.
Yeah, Death Watch, you're right. But yes, there'll be plenty there, including Space Marine 2 on this bolt gun, Skulls Festival, as well as some other bits elsewhere. Yeah, that's about it apart from Blood Bowl star players, so let's move along.
Yeah, so because we didn't get a chance to ask questions the last couple of episodes due to running long with our guests...
which we do not apologise for.
No. But because we definitely won't get a chance next episode, because next episode will be Quizcastus again, so we simply just won't get around to doing it. We're going to take the time now to answer as many questions as we can that we have missed from previous episodes. So, lay it on us.
All right, I will start with the episode with Narina, because there's 2 episodes ago, and we will go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
Firstly, what we learned from this episode is keep soundboards away from Remleiz. I'm very glad you didn't pull that one out last week.
Or today, yet.
Well, it's only been...
remind me, I actually forgot about them.
I shouldn't have bloody said anything. I'm going to get debated all day now. I am an idiot. And he immediately plays a duck quack in my ears. For God's sake. Right. So, question the first. Do you think, pardon me, that GW will ever make models for the Lucifer Black's Guard Regiment?
I doubt it. To be honest, Games Workshop doesn't make any Guardsman models that aren't just generic Cadians anymore, let's be honest, because, like...
Krieg.
I mean...
Krieg.
Well, Krieg are a Forge World product, not a Games Workshop product.
No. The Krieg kill team.
Yeah, the kill team's an exception. That doesn't count. Because it's not part of the main, army.
Why doesn't it count? They're in the main army. They count.
They count because it was designed especially for kill team. It wasn't a whole range made for the mainline 40k. It wasn't a whole army range.
But it is in the Guard Codex. You can take them as Kriegers in the Guard Codex.
I know it's in the Guard Codex, but the fact of the matter is, we got models for a single squad.
Point. Also, while I'm here...
And it's not even technically a squad. It's basically 10 specialists, effectively.
You can just build them as a regular squad, because that's what you do with the Traitor Guard as well.
But even so... There are ones from a kill team boxed set, rather than just, hey, here's a box of box of Frostroyan Firstborn. Remember when he sold those?
Or
the Talon Desert Raiders, or the Mordian Iron Guard, or the Valhallan Ice Warriors,
or Catachan.
Have they stopped selling the Catachans now?
I don't think they have, but they're very old.
Yeah, the plastic Catachans were 3rd edition models.
Yeah, Jesus wept.
And then you had the Steel Legion go on made to order, the other week.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I doubt they'll make anything for Lucifer Blacks, purely on the basis that... who gives a toss about the Lucifer Blacks? They're stuck on Terror. They haven't done anything of note since the Siege of Terror. Yeah,
literally, if you asked me to name guard regiments and I didn't have a list in front of me, I would get about 10 deep, 20 deep, and I would still not have remembered the Lucifer Blacks. But while I'm here, I just want to have a little quick dig at someone who knows me very well. Krieg Grenadiers can rot in hell. There, I said it. Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
They are broken as a unit in-game. They are broken at the moment. I'm really glad 10th is coming so they can nerf them into the bloody floor.
Can I also just say that Krieg are overrated in general?
Maybe, but, they've got they're deep-striking grenadiers with gas bombs with their all AP-2 instant wound on 3s or something, and they're bullshit. So, I just wanted to say that.
Fair enough.
Right. Since the warp is a dimension where time acts however the writer wants it to at the time, and characters in the warp have been known to meet different timeline versions of themselves, such as that Orc Warboss one time who killed himself for a spare of his own gun, is it possible for there to be multiple versions of the same demon at the same time, whether in the same place or not? Such as, for example, 2 different timeline placement versions of Be'lakor.
I don't think so, purely on the basis that the Chaos Gods themselves are pretty much confirmed to be multiversal singularities. Like, across all the multiverse, there is only one of each Chaos God. And since demons are formed from an aspect of the god's own power, I can't imagine there being multiple types of, the same demon. Like, I can't imagine there being 6 or 7 Skull Takers running around kind of thing.
No, I'm with you. The only exception to that is the demon Primarchs, because, or demon princes, because they have not crossed multiverse into Age of Sigmar, so there's not been...
Doombreed. He was a Terran demon prince who crossed over into Age of Sigmar to fight Andrasta.
Doombreed fought Andrasta?
Yeah.
When did I miss that? I owned the Stormcast book. When did I miss that?
Hang on, I'll see if I can find a thing. Because it was actually Oculus who showed me this. It's from a book. Where is it? Was it? It is said that the God King loosed one of the great bolts that day, blasting Doombreed asunder, even as he carried Andrasta into the heavens.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we know that Doombreed is a 40k demon because he's literally described as once being a Terran warlord.
Yes, he was.
So, there you
Fair
go.
enough.
He does
Today
cross over. Yeah. And plus, you could also argue that one time, that Sigmarite priest, encountered Magnus the Red, in Liber Chaotica.
Yeah,
because he found it funny. It's like, the greatest of Tzeentch's servants shares the same name as Magnus the Pious. That's funny, kind of thing. With that one passage that I've met the mightiest of Tzeentch's servants, Magnus, a demon who has sired 1,000 sons. Subtle.
Subtle. Mind you, that's very old, so I don't know if I really count that.
Well, considering it was republished in like only a couple of years ago, like it was reissued, I'd still say it counts as being, a kind of thing. Considering I actually redid all the artwork inside it as well.
True.
So effectively, it was an updated version that was released a couple of years ago. So I'd say that counts as still being prominent.
Yeah, alright, I'll take that. Also, I just found the setting that turns the soundboard volume down so you can't troll me with it anymore. Haha.
Never mind.
Right. Since we're talking about fantasy and all that, are there any fantasy books that you would recommend? With the exception of Gotrek and Felix, obviously.
I've not really read too many of the fantasy books.
Same.
But if I had to recommend some, I'd probably recommend the Nagash trilogy.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
And possibly the Sigmar trilogy as well.
Yeah, I'm going to say this now, I don't think I've actually read a single fantasy book. Like, when I started properly reading the literature, it was all 40k, and by the time I was ready to read fantasy stuff, it was already dead. So I haven't actually read any fantasy novels. I heard good things about the Malice Darkblade novel.
Yeah, I remember the Malice Darkblade comics. I remember them. They were actually really good, yeah. One I would recommend, just purely because I loved the character when I did play fantasy, the Edgrin Van Horseman novel. That
could be fun.
About the rogue wizard in the College of Magics who basically ends up making a pact with Tzeentch and freeing the two-headed Chaos Dragon Galrog from underneath the College of Magic.
I knew the name. I had a feeling it was a two-headed dragon, but I wasn't sure. Thank you for reminding me. I think there was a series of books either about not the War of the Beard. Hold on. High Elves novels Warhammer. Because there was the Anarian trilogy.
Oh, like wasn't one of them about Calador or Kaeldor, whatever his name is?
Calador.
The dragon.
So yeah. So there's there were a bit. So there's a Tyrion and Terrace. So Tyrion and Teclis had a novel called Blood of Anarian.
Tyrion Terry.
I know, I messed it up a couple of times. There's Sword of Calador, which is part of that series as well by Bill King. So yeah, there's those. I don't know if they're any good, but they're Bill King books, so
If it's Bill King, you know it's going to be good.
Yeah, if it's Bill King, it's going to be good. They are always brilliant.
From what I've heard, though, from some people, stay away from anything Marathi related.
Always.
Just stay away from
Neil
that.
did a series as well, The Defenders of Ulthuan and stuff like that.
Oh.
Elves the Omnibus.
Did Grom the Paunch ever get a novel about when he invaded Ulthuan?
No, I think his was always just relegated to the...
Because that would have been an awesome, novel, even for just like a one-off, like him just invading Ulthuan and all the Highlands going, what the fuck? Why we got greenskins invading our islands? Like, haha, I'm a fat goblin, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't believe so. From what I can gather here, I'm just going to go down.
Opportunity.
If I go down Eltharion the Grim, he's in Defenders of Ulthuan. But I don't think that's for his battles with Grom the Paunch. Force. What's reference for? What piece of lore is reference for? Nope, that's nothing of that. Yeah. So no, Grom the Paunch never did. In fact, the only novel to truly talk about mention Eltharion, I typed Eltharion novel, and the first thing that comes up is the End of Enlightenment. The bloody... Age of Sigmar novel, which I have also read, the Lumineth book. That's bloody good, I can tell you, but that's not what the question asked.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say go for the Nagash books, the Sigmar books, the Gotrek and Felix books, obviously. Anything by Bill King, go for. Yeah,
Bill King is just brilliant. As is Graham McNeil, let's be fair. And Dan Abnett. In fact, there's a replied comment I didn't actually read, which is Riders of Death.
Never heard of it.
No, it's been a Reader's Choice vote before. Anyway.
Well, it's Reader's Choice. That means it's got to be, at least competent, if nothing else.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was an Archaon novel like Everchosen or something like that at some point.
I'm pretty sure the Skarsnik novel was on Reader's Choice as well.
Yes, it was. The Skarsnik novel was. I'm sure that... Did Queekhead Taker get a novel? I don't remember. Anyway.
Yes, he did. That was David Geimer.
Right. Well, we might get to him later. We'll see how we go for time. So, next question. I am not sure if this has been asked before. I believe you are all wrestling fans. Yes, me and Remleiz are wrestling fans. What would be each Primarch's finisher?
Right, let's start from the beginning, from Legion number, so we don't miss anyone out.
Yeah.
Lionel Johnson, One-Winged Angel.
I mean, Dark Angel, I get that. But the One-Winged Angel is... Actually, yeah, it's Sephiroth, isn't it? The One-Winged Angel.
Yeah. But the move itself is basically an electric chair driver, so...
Yeah, and One-Winged Angel. Yeah, First Legion Angels. Yeah, okay, yeah, I buy that.
Yeah.
Plus, it's very flashy, and nobody beats it, and Lion's stat line basically says, you can't beat me in a straight fight, so...
Basically, Lionel Johnson is Charles Dance crossed with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, Doom. 2 doesn't exist. 3, Fulgrim.
Fulgrim. Phoenix Splash. Nice and flashy. Phoenix, and he's a Phoenician, Phoenix Guard and all that.
Yeah, I mean, the Phoenix Splash makes a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense. 4 is Perturabo. Right, Perturabo was a siege breaker and very boring. It was something really, not that technical, but really, gets the job done every time.
Like a lariat. Just smash your way through.
Something that's not flashy, like a choke slam or something.
An Uranagi.
Yeah, that might work. Or even... No, not the Tombstone. That's not going to work.
Nah.
But it would be some sort of big man finisher. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go for Uranagi.
Take it, yeah.
Was it 5? That's Jagatai.
Right.
Hunter's Arrow. Hunter's Arrow, hands down.
Right, right. That is one that most even mainstream wrestling fans don't know. So run that one past me.
Right, it's the move that King Cuerno used to do in Lucha Underground. Before he became Santos Escobar in WWE, he'd run the ropes, come off the other ropes, and then come off the ropes again to basically dive through them into a tope suicida that basically travelled about 15, 20 feet. He was like, high speed, high impact, great distance. Yeah. And Jagatai is the Warhawk. He's associated with speed, a fast, high impact finisher. Bang.
Yeah, it would definitely work because the other move that came to mind is something that's fast striking, which is like a spear, but that sounds even more impressive.
Or a super kick party.
6, Russ. Something absolutely feral but unavoidable.
The pounce.
Keith Lee's move? Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Again, the spear comes to mind.
That could also work, because he did have the Spear of the Emperor, didn't he? So.
Yeah.
Or the Gore, if you're a real connoisseur.
Oh, no, we can't. No, the Gore's got to go to Angron. Like, come on, it's there in the name.
Yeah, no, but you don't want to give two guys basically what is variations of the same move.
Yeah, so maybe give Russ the pounds to leave the Gore for Angron.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. 7. Seven's Dawn.
Walls of Jericho. So I know it's a terrible joke, but Walls of Jericho had to be done.
To be honest, I'm surprised we didn't give Lionel Johnson the Lion Tamer, by the same logic. But hey.
Actually, yeah, that would have actually been really good, but no.
But I think one we named was Susan Bear.
Yeah. But considering that like Pert and Dawn are very similar to one another, if Pert's got like the Uranagi, Dawn would probably go for like let's stick with the Samoa Joe moveset and give him like the Kokina clutch and just like, you know what, I'm just going to shut you up. But no, I'll always consider Dawn putting in the Walls of Jericho. I'll always will.
Yeah.
8.
Because cattle mutilation.
Yeah, I mean, just it's right there in the bloody name, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's torturously painful.
Yeah. Or alternatively, the Crippler Crossface.
Which is just the Brutalizer, isn't it?
I think so, if I recall correctly.
I mean, Pax Brutalizer is just a Super Doom Crossface, isn't it?
That's true, yeah.
So yeah, some
I
variation.
always remember the Benoit version, but yeah.
Well, I always knew it as the Labelle Lock first and foremost, which is a slight difference.
Fair enough. 9, Sanguinius.
The flashiest move you can think of. Oh no, wait, he's got wings. This has got to use like high flying because he's got wings.
He's got to be a top rope move, yeah, definitely. Probably
Montez Ford's Frog Splash from the heavens.
Either or pretty much anything that El Hijo de Vikingo does.
Or Ricochet does.
Or Ricochet, or Prince Puma for connoisseurs.
Yeah. What about Airborne?
Ooh. Yeah, that could work. That's like a shooting star press, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a shooting star press, and it's slightly different to Fulgrim's if he's got the Phoenix Splash.
Yeah.
Or what about the Swanton Bomb?
Maybe.
Actually, no. I love the Swanton Bomb, but...
I mean, so he's got the swan wings, hasn't he? So
he does. I'm going with Airborne, but I'd take any of those options.
Fair enough.
10. Ferris. Something with his hands.
See, I got two choices for Ferris. Either Ferris would also just be a stiff lariat, because, the iron hand, bang.
Buckshot
Lex
or regular?
Regular. He's not flashy enough for a buckshot. It'd be a bit like Lex Luger's bionic forearm in a way.
Bionic,
Yeah. Either that or a muscle buster.
Oh, good move. What about... Wait, hang on. The most deadly lariat I've ever heard of is the Rainmaker. Yeah, muscle buster or Rainmaker?
Depending on how he feels that day. One could be a signature. One could be a finisher.
Oh, no. Given how many people have nearly died to the muscle buster, it can be nothing but a finisher.
True. Maybe he just has two finishers as a selfish bastard.
Yeah. The other option is to have him and Fulgrim have, very similar moves and each claim the other one invented it. Because they can't stop arguing over who's the better X move.
Possibly.
That's just a bit daft. 11, no. 12 is Angron Gore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gore.
Sorry, it's got to be. I can't think of anything else.
13, Gilliman's. So be something technical and
generic.
Because he is generic, yeah. I don't know, maybe like a sharpshooter or something.
Maybe. He's not the type.
Or just a sleeper hold.
Yeah, he's not the type to bring out the big man moves. I'm sort of thinking it wouldn't be... I'm trying to think of who sort of moveset I'm thinking about. Oh, wait, hang on. He's got like all Latin-y names. What about the coup de grace?
I can't imagine him jumping off the top rope to stomp on someone.
True, actually, yeah, the coup de grace, maybe not.
I mean, you can maybe like do something like, Mr. Perfect's Perfect Plex or something, but that'd be more akin to Fulgrim because he's perfect, isn't he? So,
yeah. Yeah, I'm struggling with Gilliman because he's just a bit boring. Or maybe use the Hand of Dominion and do like some sort of punch type thing. Like John Cena's Lightning Fist.
Oh, John Cena's Wank Hand, the 5-knuckle shuffle.
I wouldn't go for the 5-knuckle. As much as he is basic, even I wouldn't give Gilliman the 5-knuckle shuffle because that move is terrible.
It is terrible. It's the poor man's people's elbow.
Yeah, it is. Oh, hang on. What about the stunner? Because, he wrote the book on how to be like the top guy, and everyone is trying to copy him, and no one does it quite as well as he does.
Maybe? I don't know.
Actually, no, it's too pop-worthy. Gilliman doesn't deserve that big of a pop for the stunner.
Double arm DDT?
Leg drop? Just the atomic leg drop?
No, not the atomic. No, fuck that. The leg drop's one of the worst finishers ever. I'm sorry, Hulk Hogan fans, but it is. It's terrible.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's not as bad as Warrior's backsplash, but...
Yeah, but at least Warrior looked like, he would hurt you just from his shield weight landing on you. Like, Hogan just dropping a leg on you. It's like, no.
Yeah. Actually, maybe the DDT.
Single or double arm. Dirty Deeds.
I'd go more Jake Roberts DDT than... whose is the one who had... or Andrade's Hammerlock. I don't know. Anyway.
It's surprising how... Oh, just give him a generic running power slam, like Braun Strowman. Generic running power slam.
Something boring, yeah. 14, Mortarion. I mean, Plague Death makes me think End of Days, but that move is too Reaper? Protected. Say again?
And because he is the Reaper, the End of Days.
Yeah, but that move is far too protected. Has only one person kicked out at the End of Days?
I think so.
Like, I think Drew McIntyre kicked out of it once, and that's it. So maybe that.
Flatliner?
That's a good one.
He's Lord of Death. Flatline? Yeah, Flatliner.
I like that. That works. 15 is Magnus. Something really overcomplicated that he usually misses and is so easily countered because he's an idiot.
The Playmaker. Because it's complicated enough to fuck up, but it's just crap enough to look terrible.
Oh no, it looks impressive when he pulls it off. It's got
dropping all that weight on your knee. Or maybe kind of like with Brian Cage's Weapon X. It's so complicated seven, it just looks so... Wait, that's it? Kind of thing when he hits it. It's like... But the setup's so complicated. It's like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, he could do, considering how easily it gets countered, particularly by a move like the Spear or the Pounce, the Phenomenal Forearm.
Again, I can't really see Magnus doing springboards.
I'm just thinking maybe it just does. What about the Styles Clash? Because it's inherently extremely dangerous, and Magnus was known to play with fire.
See, I was gonna give that to Lorgar because of its other name, because it's known as the Faith Breaker as well. So, I thought that would fit Lorgar better.
Actually, yeah, it's a small man move. So yeah, actually, I'm down with giving that to Lorgar. Yeah, fair enough.
So Magnus, what does he get? So something complicated. Maybe I don't know, a Koji clutch, because that's complicated as hell to set up.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah, we'll go with that because I can't think of anything particularly.
So again,
I can't think of anything else. So 16, Horus.
Something impactful but at the same time, quite simple, easy to pull off at the same time. I don't know, maybe just like a big old power bomb or something.
Yeah, something that everyone agrees would destroy you, but at the same time, like, it's just a
jackknife power bomb.
Or the last ride.
Or the last ride, yeah, that'll work, yeah.
Yeah, plus Horus, gave a lot of people, he went on his own last ride at Terra, so,
Hey.
Ding.
17, Lorgar, that Faith Breaker, we already agreed that. 18, that's Vulcan. Burning Hammer.
You think his Vulcan is not agile enough to pull off a Burning Hammer, let's be honest here.
A burning Hammer is not... They don't need to do that. You just need to get someone on your shoulders and then slam them down hard.
True, actually, yeah.
Besides, Burning Hammer. What's Vulcan?
I know.
Hammers and burning things. Burning Hammer.
I know.
There you go.
Plus Vulcan is known to try and murder quite a few people with brute strength. Hello, Magnus. Hello, Kurz. So...
Hello, little Eldari child.
You had
that one just set on fire.
You had to go there, didn't you?
I had to go there. Never forget the time where Vulcan set fire to a small child.
19. Korax. Oh, God, Korax. My instinct is RKO because it's a sneaky move that comes out of nowhere, but Alfarius is right fucking there.
So you cut it, I didn't hear you said sorry.
The RKO, because it's sneaky, stealthy, comes out of nowhere, but Alfarius is right there.
But at the same time, I can imagine him using top rope moves because he had a jump pack, so he probably has some kind of aerial move. He'd probably have the coup de grace, probably.
Yeah, because he was known for a swift sudden strike. Yeah, the coup de grace would work for Korax. Raven's the wrong type of guy for this sort of move.
Raven just had a normal DDT. He had the even flow DDT.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. Why didn't we give Lion the go to sleep?
Oh, God. Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, come on, let me have that one. That was bloody good.
So basically, Lion's now got the go to sleep, the Lion Tamer, and the one-winged angel.
Well, he was known for having a way overstacked Legion, so why not have an overstacked moveset?
Oh, dear.
So, yeah, Korax, coup de grace. Yeah, I'm happy with coup de grace. And then Alfarius, the RKO out of nowhere. Or
alternatively, the Diamond Cutter, because that could also be done out of nowhere.
Yeah, that would work. The RKO is, to quote AJ Styles, a knockoff Diamond Cutter.
Or we can just say, Alfarius gets the RKO and Omegon gets the Diamond Cutter. There you go.
What about the Emperor?
The Emperor's finisher is, that doesn't work for me, brother. he changes the booking. That's how he wins. Oh, and my thing is lagging. What the hell is going on? Am I cutting out?
No, I got you.
So all of a sudden, my Audacity started juddering. I was like, oh, fuck, am I about to crash? No? Okay, thank fuck.
That's a relief.
Right, Emperor. Oof. I don't know, he probably hit someone with a chair or something, I don't know. Oh, probably like the White Russian leg sweep, which is what the Sandman used, where he basically got a Singapore cane, put him across the guy's throat, and then did a leg sweep while choking the guy out with the Singapore cane at the same time. Bang.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was a fun little thought experiment. I enjoyed that.
Someone's really commented saying like, wow, someone actually remembered the Sandman had a finisher?
I'm assuming he was a bit of a jobber in EC Dub.
No, he just beat the shell some people with a cane and a table and chairs and ladders. He didn't really wrestle. He was pretty much a weapons guy. One time he got legitimately knocked out during one match, during a match against Cactus Jack, and Jack kept trying to pin him, and he kept kicking out. It's like, no, you're meant to, this is the finish. Like, nah, I'm fine. But he was so knocked out, he didn't know what was fucking going on. So the match ended up lasting 20 minutes extra when it was supposed to, because he just would not stay down.
Oh, they should have just gone for a submission and choked him out to just put him to sleep then.
Yeah, but Jack doesn't do submissions. But because this is before he did the Mandible Claw.
Ah.
Like this was like 1995 ECW, not 1996 WWF when he debuted as Mankind.
I was close though. I was only a year off.
But yeah, next question. I think we got everyone.
Yes, we did. There's one here about fan fiction, one about holidays, one asking why we ever bother talking about Lord of the Rings.
Because we need to find out when we get Lord of the Onion Rings back, like with that breakfast challenge with the hash browns you thought were onions.
Oh God, I'd forgotten that. Jesus, wow, God, I'd forgotten that completely.
We'll never forget because Narina immortalized it in art form of you
True.
shouting, "These are not hash browns," and she's going, "Potato."
Yes. Right, so that's the Narina episode. Next over to the Sugden episode, which is last time out. Firstly, yes, we misremembered the Sodaz situation. Sorry about that, but,
Yeah.
our bad. It was a lot going on at that time, and it was a while ago.
It was, yeah.
So, if there was a Warhammer musical to be made, which book would you base it on?
Space Marine by Ian Watson, just for the absurdity of it all. It's already absurd. Make it more absurd by turning it into a musical, and Stanley Kubrick goes, "Who knows you? And this is my next musical."
You see, though, I have a way you could actually play it straight, and that's Day of Ascension, the Tchaikovsky novel.
I can't wait to hear Gene Steeler Coulter start singing.
No, but they do.
We're gonna infest the world. Do-do-do-do-do.
That wasn't the vibe I was going for. But bear in mind what Day of Ascension is. You've got an oppressed populace, a hidden cult trying to stay in the shadows within that populace, and then the machine cult, which sacrifices people to make, super mechanized bionic warriors, and then you've accidentally got a mole in the machine, and the hybridization of man, alien, and machine coming together, and there's a riot and a revolution, and it's easy to musicalize that. You've got an arena celebratory sacrifice thingamabob. You easily do it with that. And I actually think if you played it right and played it, and I mean this literally, play it straight, you could probably make Day of Ascension work. And I've probably now just stopped Adrian Kajtovsky ever coming on this program because I've just said you can make a musical out of his book. But, it's a bloody good book, so.
After this episode's done, I'm going to tweet him and say, "Hey, we are considering making a musical out of this book."
Please don't do that. Right.
I mean, you can always make a Lionel Johnson musical, where it sings like "The Lion Sleeps Tonight." Obvious joke.
Terrible.
Hey, go ahead, Desk.
Terrible.
Yes.
Right. Question for Neve. Okay. If you really go into the lore with the students, you can't really go in too deep right away, but what would you do if, say, a student wanted to learn about Slaanesh or the Beastmen, where there's little to no way to get around seeing the horrors of the faction? To be honest, you can actually play factions like the Beastmen and Drakari and the Ideneth and Slaanesh pretty straight. You just have to know when to stop talking. Because Slaanesh is all about excess, and the word excess just means too much, an overload. So you're talking about overloading your senses, it's too loud, it's really bright, it's really just really stimulating. You just leave out the 18 plus, 16 plus material. It's not that hard. You don't
just point to the Noise Marine and say it's 80s glam metal.
Yeah, and if you really want to talk about the demons, talk about the fact they use illusion magic to make themselves look a certain way right up to the part where they kill you. Because that's what demonettes do. They use glamour as an illusion to make themselves look beguiling to humans or whoever, and then they kill them. So that is absolutely fine. Beastmen, they're literally part beast, part man that run around and smash things and live in dark forests and worship chaos. End of sentence.
Yeah, Drakari, they're basically mini Minotaurs.
Yeah. Drakari, they're space elves who went down a dark path and made a chaos god, and now they have to go and capture people to save their souls. End of sentence. You don't have to talk about the whole slavery homunculi bit. You can leave that out. That's fine. Idoneth, same thing. They were made, but their souls are falling apart, so they have to go and steal souls off people in order to live. End of sentence. You can just give them enough, and if they want to go look it up, they can do that. You don't tell them where to do it, but if they want to go, they can go, and you can't stop them. But you can just give them the sort of basic introduction without going into all the detail. You can go right in on the lore. Just know when to stop the sentence. That's it.
Agreed.
Right. Out of curiosity, will there be any 40k crossovers with mecha anime and video games? For example, a Century Episode R or Super Robot Wars anime and or both? This means all to me.
I mean, we've already had a whole bunch of video game crossovers, like with World of Tanks and World of Battleships having 40k skins for United States aircraft carriers having a Black Templar skin, for example.
True.
But I don't think you're gonna get anything beyond that. I mean, I'd like to see like a 40k anime kind of thing. I think that could actually really work. Because it's one of the few mediums of entertainment where it actually could work properly.
Yeah.
But I can't see Games Workshop actually doing it unless they actually decide to go, oh, by the way, we're partnering up with Gainax or something like that. The studio that did Neon Genesis Evangelion, that kind of thing.
True.
By the way, have you watched Akira yet?
Of course not. The other option is, if you're going to do like crossover, I know it's not the same thing, but crossovers or making of Netherrealm style fighting games, like Mortal Kombat, for example. We've just seen the trailer for MK1, or MK12 being called MK1, which looks sick, by the way. They've brought the Terminator, RoboCop, Spawn, Kratos.
Do you know what the stupid thing is about the Mortal Kombat guest characters? There have been more guest character appearances than characters from the 3D era of Mortal Kombat appearing in the games. So basically characters from Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon. There have been less of those in more recent games than there have been guest characters.
Oh yeah, like Onaga and Dragon or whatever he's called. Fair enough. But no, I get the reasonings why characters like Rambo and RoboCop and Spawn are going to get people's attention. But bringing somebody across, someone
actually pointed out, what was it? That in mainline Mortal Kombat games, the Joker has appeared in more of them than some other actual established Mortal Kombat characters.
Because he's appeared in 2.
No, 3.
3?
He's appeared in 3.
MK vs DC, MK11, what's the other one?
There was one other one, I'm pretty sure. Because there was actually a Mortal Kombat YouTuber who actually did point out, he actually pointed out that he was in 3. So I think it must have been one of the other ones at some point. God, if I don't remember, I'll write it down, but...
I'm just Googling it now. Mortal Kombat Mobile, apparently.
Oh, there you go, that's 3 then, yeah.
The mobile game.
So the mobile game, 11, and DCU. So that's 3 Mortal Kombat games he's appeared in, and so that's, compared to some other Mortal Kombat characters, that's more than what, say, for example, Movado's appeared in. He's only ever been in 2, for instance, which were Deadly Alliance and Armageddon.
True.
Or hell, even Chameleon, who was literally just Mortal Kombat Trilogy and Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and that's it.
Well, that's the reskin of Reptile.
No, the female one.
Okay. Again, it's just going to play very similarly to Reptile.
Okay, Taven, 1 game.
True.
Hey, Serena, two games. Serena was in 2 games. And the Joker's appeared in more than Serena, and Serena was really popular. Yeah, and she doesn't count. Serena doesn't count in MKX because she wasn't playable. It was a cameo appearance. Doesn't count.
Fair enough.
Because she was in Armageddon and she was in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance Tournament Edition for the Game Boy Advance. And those are her only playable appearances in Mortal Kombat.
Fair enough.
But anyway, carry on.
next then. Right, this is one that you can answer. This person is making their own fanfiction homebrew 11th Legion chapter, and when they're done making it, if they want to submit it, how do I do that?
You either do so via the 40k Theories Facebook page, or you click the Discord link in the video description for the homebrew videos. The guys there will be able to help you. Ask for Tuppy. They will be able to guide you out on how to do it. Hi, Tuppy.
Okay. That's pretty much it, actually. There wasn't a lot of questions. A lot of very positive comments about the episode with Louise, because it was a really good show. I really, really enjoyed that episode. We need to do an XGW employees call, just get Peachy and Duncan and Louise and everybody just in one room, and that would be a really, really fun call to have. But
you still want to do your Black Library call as well, don't you?
I still would love to do the Black Library conference call. I know it's never going to happen. I've accepted that it's never going to happen, but still.
Who knows? Maybe for a Quizcastus, we'll get some XGW employees on, see how much they know about Warhammer. Actually, that'd be an idea. Get the Black Library authors on for Quizcast to see how much they actually know.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's not going to go down well. I can imagine there being a lot of arguing on that.
Probably.
So, no, Graham, the Exorcists are not Imperial Affairs. I don't care what that book's... I don't care what White Dwarf says. It's fucking stupid. Anyway.
So, yes, that pretty much catches us up on questions, actually.
Fair enough. In which case, I think I shall talk about the Lion novel.
Ooh.
So, everyone listening, consider this your spoiler warning. I'm not going to put a timestamp because by the time we're done talking about it, it'll probably be the end of the episode. So just
for
those of you who wish to avoid spoilers, we'll see you next episode.
Sorry.
That's all right. So entering the spoiler room in 3, 2, 1. CM Punk to Impact Wrestling confirmed. No, not really, but can you imagine? Lol. Anyway, he did actually turn up backstage recently, which was quite funny.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he was just there to support Trinity when she did her in-ring debut.
That makes sense.
But yes, the Lion novel. I'm going to go on record and say a few things right now. Firstly, it's probably the best Dark Angel book we've had in a good long while, which is a huge deal.
Yep, because they've been quite mixed.
Yeah, they have, yeah. And secondly, it's probably Mike Brooks' best book so far.
Wow.
So, yeah. That's what to expect for this book.
I mean, Mike Brooks has made some very good books. You've always been very complimentary of his work.
Well, except for the Red Gobbo book, I didn't think much of that, to be honest.
True.
I thought that was not that good, but like Rites of Passage, for example, that was really good. And as well as the Huron Blackheart book, that was also really good.
Indeed.
But this is definitely his best work, at least in my personal opinion.
Agreed.
So, anyway, we start off with Lion just waking up in what looks like Caliban, like just lying beside a stream, wearing his armor, no weapons, but he's got his new armor. It's all battered and dented and scuffed or whatever. He wakes up, doesn't know where he is, doesn't know who he is, until he looks at himself in his reflection in the river. And then he remembers, right, I think I know who I am. I am Lion. My name is Lion, yes. So he starts walking through the forest by the river, just try and find out where he is. And he comes across a king fishing in the middle of the river.
Right.
And he calls out to the king, and the king doesn't say anything, just ignores him. So Lion's like, ignore me, will you? And starts trying to wade through the water, trying to get closer to the king. And then he hears a voice from behind him saying, you're not strong enough yet. Turns round, there's a watcher in the dark.
Right.
And the watcher says, they will destroy you. You are not strong enough. Lion turns back around, and he sees these giant shapes swimming around in the water that look like giant fish, essentially.
Okay.
And he also sees from the king's hands, there is blood just dripping from his hands into the water. And the shadows just swimming around. But
okay.
the Watcher says, you're not strong enough yet, they will destroy you.
Right, okay, so Lion's basically being told, you're just not ready for this yet. Go do something important, basically just set up the MacGuffin for later.
Pretty much. So Lion starts walking, he basically wades through the water and crosses over to the other side and starts walking through the path of the forest. And as he's walking, the forest itself starts to change, like very subtly, until he realizes that he's now in a different forest. Like he's no longer on Caliban.
Right.
Or in the reflection of Caliban, as it were. He's walking through this forest, and then he hears screaming. He starts running towards it, and he sees like a group of people being attacked by native predators, like these giant lion things with scorpion tails.
Oh God.
Yeah. He ends up killing a couple of them. His helmet gets completely soaked in blood to the point his eye lenses he can't see out of them because they're just soaked with blood. He rips off his own helmet, chucks it towards the people he's helping, saying, "Clean that," just so he can wear it again when he's done. And he ends up killing the other monsters. The people, they're like, "Oh, thank you, my lord, you saved us. Here's your helmet now. I cleaned it with my shirt." And Lion asks, "Okay, where are we?" "Well, we're here. No, what planet are we on?" "Oh, Macrath." "Right. Can you give me any more information, Ned?" It's like, well, we can take you back to meet our protector. He might be able to help you. Okay. Your protector? Yes, he protects us from the monsters. Well, he's not doing a very good job if I had to come and help you. Yeah, but there's only one of them, and there's loads of us. He can only be in one place at one time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, fair enough. So they go back to their camp. Lion just picks up one of the dead monsters and just hooks over his shoulders, just carrying it as a trophy. Da-da-da. They get to the camp and Lion just asks, "Someone give me a knife. I want to skin this animal," to wear it as a cloak.
As you do.
As you do. And the people call out, it's like, "Oh, Protector, come meet this stranger. Look, he's just like you." The Protector comes out. It's one of the Fallen.
Oh, God.
And the Fallen sees Lion. Lion looks at the Fallen. And immediately the Fallen pulls out his pistols and starts shooting. It's like, oh God, he's come to kill me. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh dear.
They have a punch-up. Lion realizes who he is. He realizes who this Fallen is. It's a guy named Zabriel.
Right.
And as they're fighting, they get into this debate. And Zabriel's like, you betrayed us. You betrayed against the Emperor. It's like, no, I never betrayed against the Emperor. It's like, you fired on us. No, you fired on us, kind of thing.
Oh, God.
But then Lion realizes, wait, if you're loyal to the Emperor and I'm loyal to the Emperor, maybe there's been a misunderstanding here that we need to clear up. So, truce? And Zabriel's like, okay, I guess.
Well, here's something I never thought I'd see. The Dark Angel, Primarch, and the Fallen are just going to have a truce with each other. Yeah. Right.
So Lion helps Zabriel up, and Zabriel asks, "Okay, so how did you get here?" Lion's like, "I have absolutely no fucking idea. I was hoping you could tell me." It's like, well, I ended up just coming to this world about 400 years ago. I was spat out of the warp and dumped on this world. So the Battle of Caliban was only about 400 years ago for me. But you look much older, Lion. You look about 10,000 years older. So have you been awake for all this time? It's like, I don't know. But the people here call you their protector, yes? Yeah. Protecting them from what? Oh, there's a warband of Chaos Space Marines who attack the planet and they've been raiding the populace. Okay. What else can you tell me about after Caliban blew up? So, well, I heard all the Primarchs disappeared. You're the only one running around from what I understand. The traitor legions are basically under the command of Abaddon. I was like, wait, Abaddon's still around?
Fun.
Yeah, he recently blew up Cadia. Blank expression from the Lion. Oh, it was a fortress world near the Eye of Terror. Right.
Yeah, because in Lion's time, Cadia was just where Lorgar's pilgrimage happened, and no one knew about that, so yeah, they wouldn't know a thing about it.
It was some backwater world in the galactic northwest, and no one gave a toss about it except for the word bearers. Yep. Despite the fact that, Caliban was near the Eye of Terror, but hey.
True.
So Zabrio and Lion end up talking, and Lion basically starts learning about things like, the Secretrix Maledictum. Like, he looks up into the sky and you can actually see the Secretrix Maledictum through the atmosphere and all that, because of his, super advanced Primarch sight and all that. And they learn that, okay, so you want to protect the people, I'm going to help you. Where is this stronghold for these traitors? Oh, in the mountains. There's like a chapter keep that used to belong to a chapter called the Ruby Crescents. They used to have a garrison here, and they basically just overran it.
Right.
So Lion and Zabra end up going towards the Crescent Stronghold. They end up sneaking their way inside. And bear in mind, remember, at this point, Lion's got no weapons. He's literally just armor and bare fists.
Ah, so okay, yes. No sword, no shield yet. We'll get to the shield, I'm sure.
No sword, no shield, no gun.
Oh, even no gun. No, you can't just say, give me your power sword because I need to do these. You're just I'm going to punch everybody.
Literally, the only weapon he had was that small knife that someone gave him to skin a lion. That was it.
God.
Which is basically like, well, this is fucking useless.
Absolutely fucking useless.
They sneak their way inside, and there's some chaos cultists. They end up just like, the lion literally just punches his way through these chaos cultists, like just slapping, like turning them into like paste with each punch. Bang, bang, bang.
He would, yes.
And they make their way further and further into keep, and they see this chaos sorcerer and this chaos lord, as well as a bunch of lesser chaos space marines.
Mm-hmm.
And the chaos space marines ask, who the fuck are you? You're clearly not one of ours. You're big, so you must be touched by chaos in some manner. You must, because you've been mutated, clearly. And Lion's like, yeah, I'm Lionel Johnson, Primarch of the Dark Angels, bitch. And ends up just like punching his way through these chaos space and just killing them, just punching them.
I can imagine if this was like a film set, you'd have, I'm Lionel Johnson, Primarch of the Dark Angels, and just imperceptibly behind their helmets or in their eyes, you just see the Chaos Space Marine's eyes just go wide of just like, we're dead.
Now, as he's punching his way through, the Chaos Space Marines, two obliterators show up.
Still not a
and
challenge.
Lion's never even seen an obliterator before. He's like, what the fuck is that? It's
dead
like,
is what it is.
Hi, we're just going to manifest some Vulcan melt weapons out of our arms. Bang, bang. It's like, oh shit, run. So he's like diving through cover because like an unarmed Primarch against two obliterators.
Yeah.
Even at point blank range for a melter gun, that's going to take a Primarch's head off.
Yeah.
Point blank. He ends up making this, like, diving for cover, and he ends up in the reliquary for the Ruby Crescents. It's like, reliquary, armory, weapons. There's a couple of frag grenades, take them. Ooh, a master-crafted double-handed power sword. That's just the right size for me. I will have that, thank you very much.
So he's turned a Space Marine Zweihander into this is my little rapier
into a gladius,
now.
Essentially, yeah. A Zweihander's turned into a gladius, yeah. And he's like, right, I can now kill things. He ends up killing the obliterators. Zabra was there just finishing off the other Chaos Space Marines. Bang, bang, bang. They killed everyone else, and they can hear screaming, like angry screaming coming from another room, as well as like the rattling of chains. And Zabra thinks, oh shit, have they got Hellbrutes chained up in there?
What's a Hellbrute?
Chaos Space Marine Dreadnoughts.
No, I know, but Lion's reaction is, what's a Hellbrute?
Yeah. And they go in. It's not Hellbrutes, not Dreadnoughts. It's the Ruby Crescents, who have fallen to the Red Thirst, chained up.
Oh, shit.
And Lion's like, they've clearly fallen to some warp contagion to turn like this.
Ah, yeah. Sang kept the Red Thirst so quiet, I don't even think Horus knew about it.
No, Horus did know about it, but Horus only knew about it because he found out by accident.
Yeah, Sang wouldn't have told Lion, that's for sure. They didn't get on with each other.
No. Horus found out by accident because, like, he saw, like, Sanguinius literally kill one of his own men, and Horus was like, what the fuck did you do that for? And it's like, oh shit, you saw that, did you? Yeah, what the fuck was that, Sang? Well, I bet you are my best friend.
Brother.
Yeah, it's like, well, you are my best friend, so I can tell you. And that came to bite me in the arse with Cygnus Prime, didn't it?
Just a little bit.
Anyway, meanwhile, we come to there's a Chaos Space Marine warband somewhere in space led by a guy named Sephorax, who was a Fallen. But the funny thing about Sephorax, he's described as being a redhead, and his hair is literally on fire. It's like a fiery redhead. Really?
That's a little bit on the nose there.
Yeah, I was like, that's really oof. But yeah, and he's in command of this like massive Chaos Space Marine force that includes, like, you know, Slanesh Worshippers, former World Eaters, and another Fallen named Baelor. Now, Baelor is like the odd one out of all of Sephorax's followers because he's the only one who's not been externally corrupted. Like, his armor just looks like, you know, regular Horus Heresy Dark Angel armor. Right. It hasn't got the Baroqueness or spikes or horns or anything like that. It just looks like, you know, normal Mark III power armor.
Okay. And
Baelor learns, like, right, our outpost on Karnath has stopped transmitting signals. Baelor, you need to go down there and find out what the fuck happened. It's like, okay, I can do that. Meanwhile, Lion has gathered up the population of Karnath, and basically he's raised himself an army, and they've taken all the cities back from the traitors.
That was easy.
They've reclaimed Karnath, and the native people of Karnath, they've actually formed their own special unit called the Lion's Guard, and Lion's like, yeah, I really don't need a bodyguard. And Zabri was like, no, they're doing this as a gesture of respect. If you don't accept that, that'll really upset them. It's like, okay, fine.
It's like Grimalda's taking the bloody relics. It's like, do I have to? Fine.
It's like, fine, you can be my bodyguards. But then Lion starts hearing like a psychic signal. It's like, I need to go into the mountains. Something is calling me in the mountains.
Okay.
And Zabra is like, well, I'm coming with you. And Lion's like, yeah, we're coming with you too. It's like, it'll be a hard trek up the mountains. It's like, yeah, we're still coming with you. Okay. So they're going up through the mountains. They're going up through the mountains, and as they do, they get enshrouded by this, this mist or fog. And as further they climb up, they find themselves in the forest of Caliban.
All of them, or just Lion?
All of them.
Oh.
And it's like, and the Carnathians are like, where the fuck are we? There's no forest up this high. It's like, yeah, I think we're lost. I know. We need to try and find our way back. Well, how are we going to find our way back? And one of the Carnathians says, can't we just retrace our steps?
Well, I mean, that is usually step one.
Yeah, and the other Carnathians say, like, dude, shut up. And Lion's like, no, he's got a point. That's actually a valid point. Let's try that. So they turn round and they walk along, but they're not descending. The ground's level. And someone points out saying, if we're going down the mountain, shouldn't we actually be going, downhill? It's like, yeah, we're just stuck in the middle of this fucking forest. So they keep walking through the forest. They can hear like roaring of monsters in the distance. Like, yeah, we should probably get a move on. We don't know what's actually here, so let's just move forward a bit more. And they emerge from the forest, and they're in the middle of a fucking desert on a different fucking planet. And the Carnathian's like, where the fuck are we?
Lion has just accidentally forest walked.
Yeah, and Zabri was like, where the fuck are we? And like they get up, like approached by like a local and like his little buggy, whatever. It's like, can I help you folks? It's like, yes, can you take us to whoever's in charge? I'm Lionel Johnson, Primarch of the Dark Angels. I need to speak to whoever's in charge of this planet. Sure, come on, hop my truck. As they're making their way towards the capital city of this world, Baelor's ship arrives in orbit of Karnath, And he's like, okay, the stronghold at the Ruby Keep has been destroyed. The rage virus that we were cultivating has been destroyed. We're being hailed. Who's hailing us? It's like, yeah, state your business or we'll shoot you out the sky. And Bale's like, I did not expect this. They managed to retake the fucking world. How the fuck they do that? And the planetary defenses start opening fire on the ship. It's like, yeah, we're going to get fucked if we stay here because there's so many orbital defenses now online and we're just one ship. We can destroy maybe a couple of them, but they'll destroy us too. But the main thing that scares Baelor is that they hear the Carnathians' battle cry of, for the lion. And Baelor's like, the fuck did you just say?
Ha.
Oh, God. Not in the name of the lion, for the lion. It's like, oh, God. Take us back to Sephiroth now. And his Dark Mechanicum assistant's like, Sephiroth will be very angry. He's like, yeah, he'll also be more angry if he loses a ship and doesn't find out what the fuck's happening. Take us back.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on the desert world, whose name I've completely forgotten of, Lionel Johnson meets with the planetary governor, who's like, yeah, Primarch, we never thought to see this day. We have a gift for you, Lord Primarch. It's an Archaeotech pistol that was brought here with my ancestors. I think you'll use it. So that's how he gets his pistol.
That was easy.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thank you.
That just leaves one piece of kit to go then. Shield. How the fuck does that work?
You'll find out later.
Fine.
Now, as they're on this world, Lion says to Zabriel that he senses that there are more Dark Angels on this world. And Zabriel's like, what, you mean more like me or more like, the others? The loyalist kin, as it were. Our younger brothers. And it's like, I don't know, but I need you to find them because if it's if it's another one of your kind, we need to bring them into the fold because maybe that's why I'm here. Maybe that's why I came to Karnath, to find you and to find the others. Right. Okay. I'll try. Actually, no. He learns this actually because he gets told that a small shuttle crash landed, but there was no sign of any bodies. It's like, I mean, okay, so maybe a Fallen commandeered that shuttle and ran off after he crash landed. Makes sense. Because they would want to try and remain hidden. Okay. So Zabriel ends up looking for these special markings that the Fallen are known to leave for one another if there's another nearby. He follows these markings to a small hut. And as he's about to knock on the door, he hears like a gun being cocked behind him from an upstairs window. And a voice saying, don't move or you die. And it's like, are you a Fallen or are you one of the modern younger brothers? Turn around slowly. Turns around. Zabriel, you bastard. It's like, come on inside. So Zabriel comes and enters the building and he finds not one, but 3 Fallen.
Well, isn't this cozy?
Yes. One of them is a guy known as the Red Whisper, who actually appeared in Gathering Storm 3. He was one of the Fallen that fallen at Guilliman, funnily enough.
Oh, one of Cypher's lot who broke him out?
Yeah.
Oh, small world.
Yeah, small world. But that you wouldn't know that from reading this book because he doesn't actually mention anything about that, which I think is a missed opportunity.
I mean, it's just there as an Easter egg, I suppose, for people like you.
Probably, yeah. And I've forgotten the name of the Dark Angels, the other Fallen.
Doesn't matter.
I'll just call this one Dave, so I can actually have a name to refer to him as. So Dave says, we didn't expect another Fallen, but we did hear rumours that Lionel Johnson turned up. Yeah, we kept hearing people say that. And Zabriel was like, yeah, because it's true.
Yeah, I've just been fighting alongside him for the last couple of weeks. Where have you been?
Yeah, and Dave and the others are like, wait, Lion's here? He's here to kill us. No, he's not here to kill us. It's like, are you sure about that? Considering, they did fire upon us first on Caliban. Yeah,
he doesn't think so.
And they're talking, and then all of a sudden the Red Whisperer says, I'll go with you. And everyone just looks at him and is like, wait, what? It's like, well, if Lionel Johnson's here, then I want to see him. So, yeah, I trust Zabriel. I will go with him.
I mean, he is your dad. When your dad comes back after going to get milk, then yeah, you do go and want to get to know them again.
And Dave and the other one was like a really pronounced swordsman. I've forgotten his fucking name. But they both reluctantly agree, and they go back to the governor's palace to meet Lion.
Let's call him Discount Corswain. How about that?
Yeah, Poor Swain.
Ha! That works. Okay,
Poor Swain. There we go. So Dave, Poor Swain, and the Red Whisper go with Zabriel back to the governor's palace. Lion is woken up because he's sleeping. I suppose it's the middle of the night. He's woken up by one of the palace staff saying, Lord Lion, some more of your sons are here to see you. I was like, thank you. He just comes out wearing his pajamas, basically.
That's a mental image.
It's like, his robes, but like it's his pajamas.
That's a mental image.
Yeah. And Dave and the others are like, holy shit, it's actually him.
How is this even possible?
Yeah. And Lion starts explaining, look, you say you remained loyal to the Emperor and the Imperium. You said that you were fired on first when we were fired on first. I think that there's a good number of you fallen, quote unquote, who are victims of a misunderstanding just like we are.
Correct.
So I think it's my job to try and reconcile those mistakes. Will you come with us to help me? And they look at each other like, I don't know. Poor Swain draws his sword and challenges Lion to a fight. It's like, well, if this is really the Lion, then I want to see, his strength. Blah, blah, blah.
He will beat you with his pinky finger.
Lion doesn't fight back. He just defends himself. He just blocks, just turns aside blows, does not fight. He has an opportunity to kill him, but doesn't. And Poor Swain realizes, like, fucking hell, he actually has changed his ways. Otherwise, he would have killed me when he had a chance. True. I think he's serious, lads. And I was like, okay, yeah, we'll come with you then, because it's clear that you have changed. And Dave and Portland literally just bow to one knee and is like, we're sorry, Dad, we're sorry, kind of thing. It's like, it's all right, kid, it's all right. Daddy's home. Meanwhile, Baelor has gone back to Sylvarius, and Sylvarius is like, so what happened in Karnath? Yeah, they retook the world. What do you mean they retook the world? You didn't try to take it back? I only had one fucking ship. What was I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a valid point. And Sylvarius's Slaneshi bodyguard and World Eater friend get really angry as I was like, oh, you should have done what Sylvarius told you. Baelor gets into a fight with the World Eater and literally puts a bow gun to his head and pulls the trigger, but Sylvarius uses a sorcery to stop the bullet mid-flight. And he goes, now, calm down, you two. Calm down. Now, Baelor, what was it you wanted to tell me? So, well, the people of Karnath claim to be fighting for the Lion.
What?
I'm sorry, what? So Lionel Johnson's like, oh, please, Lionel Johnson's not back. They're just clinging to some old Imperial propaganda. It's like, no, I think they're serious. So, fine, we'll send a whole fleet to retake the fucking world then. Meanwhile, on the desert world, Lion is gifted a ship from the planetary governor, and a very, very small flotilla. And they end up going back to Karnath, just in time to see Sylvarius's fleet emerge from orbit, or emerge into orbit rather, from warp space rather. I can't fucking talk. And it's like, well, Karnath's fleet is ready, is mustered, it's ready. We're outnumbered by 2-1, but I think we can take them because we have a Primarch in command of the fleet, so we have a good chance. So as a void ship battle breaks out, the World Eater has basically been put in command of the attack, and he's just charging, he's just barreling forward, and the Karnath Navy captain's like, is he just pushing his other ships out of the way? That's very stupid, isn't it? And Lion's like, well, you've never met Angron, have you? To which the Navy captain's like, oh, favor and Jesus Begora, and all that, just doing like, the sign of the Aquila, just like, oh, he said the name of the devil. Yeah. All the ships are attacking except for Baelor's ship. Baelor's ship's just like, no, I'm not getting involved in this shit. I want to see how this turns out.
Yeah, just they're gonna sit here with some popcorn.
Yeah. The Alliance forces inflict devastating casualties on the Chaos Fleet, but there's just too many of the Chaos Fleet. It gets to the point where the World Eaters are turning upon each other, because of course they do, because they're World Eaters. And then they get like a signal from the helmsman. It's like, multiple warp translations incoming. It's like, and out from the ship comes a pirate flotilla. It's like, oh, it's those fucking pirates who've been raiding the system. Great, now we've got to deal with them. It's like, wait, don't fire on them, see what they do first. And the pirates start attacking the Chaos Fleet. Because as it turns out, the captain of the pirate flotilla is a Fallen.
God, everyone's a Fallen. It's like, you just go around every planet and ship and go, you get a Fallen, you get a Fallen, you get 3 Fallen, everybody gets a Fallen.
There's a guy called like Boar's One Eye. It's like, yeah, I heard from the, we picked up an astropathic signal saying the Lion's here. It's like, hi, Boars. Daddy! And Lion ends up like, the pirates and Lion's forces end up taking out most of the Chaos Fleet, forcing Remainers to retreat. And then Lion broadcasts a signal, literally with a picture of himself on screen, saying like, hi, I'm Lionel Johnson. I'm back, bitches. And Bale's like, yeah, I'm going to hit the old dusty trail. And just warps out of there. Back to Sylvarius. Basically explain what happened. Meanwhile, Lion's forces ended up having to repair their fleet. So they go to like the pirates' orbital station because they actually have the facilities to repair shit. And when they get there, oh look, there's a couple of other Fallen there as well.
Even more bloody Fallen. Is there anyone in this book who's not a Fallen? I know there is, but
Yeah, the World Eater.
I know, but still.
And Lion.
I know, but still. It feels like everyone's a Fallen today.
Everyone is a Fallen today. So, as they're doing repairs and everyone's getting touched up and Lion's explaining what's happening and yada, 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 the pirates was like, oh, you should go to this system because I'm pretty sure there's a Fallen who's taken over the world of planetary governor or planetary defender of this system. Or whatever, like guardian of the system. It might be worth checking this one to see if there's any more Fallen there. So Lion sends Zabriel to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. Zabriel makes planetfall, and there's not one Fallen, there's 2 Fallen. One wearing normal power armor, the other's wearing Cataphracti Terminator armor. It's like, ooh, big boy.
Fun.
And it's like, so, we hear rumours that Lion's back. Yep, and I've got this hololithic projector to show this message from the Lion. And they look at it, it's like, well, it certainly looks like the Lion, but he's just old now. Oh, look, there's you right next to the Lion. Okay, tell you what, we'll go with you, because just to make sure that this is truly the Lion, okay, we'll go with you. Mm-hmm. But you might want to extend the offer to the other Fallen that's on this world. It's like, wait, there's a third one? It's like, yeah, but he lives as a hermit in the mountains. He's basically like, forsworn all combat. He's forsaken combat. He lives literally just wearing rags in the middle of a cave somewhere in the mountains.
Okay, yeah. We all know that sort of stereotypical character.
Yeah, it's like, he probably won't go with you, but... And Zabriel's like, yeah, but I need to extend the offer anyway, but even if it doesn't come, that's cool, but...
It is Lion, after all. You do have to ask.
Yeah. So Zabriel ends up climbing the mountain, and as he gets closer to the hermit's cave, he can hear talking. 2 voices talking. So someone else is up there. It's like, okay.
Uh-oh.
And Zabriel's like, hello, anyone there? The hermit comes out, and out comes another Dark Angel wearing Fallen armor. It's like, oh, I didn't expect 2 of you here. The armored Dark Angel takes off his helmet. It's Baelor.
Uh-oh.
And Baelor and Zabriel recognize each other. It's like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in ages, man. What have you been doing? It's like, oh yeah, I've been hanging around with Sylvarius. Sylvarius, what's he doing? Yeah, he started this Chaos War band called the 10,000 Eyes. Wait, so it was you who attacked Karnath? Yep. Oh, you bastard.
Oh yeah. So what have you been doing then, Baylor? Oh yeah. No. So
I was
other
protecting
one.
Carl.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah. The wrong way around. So, oh yeah.
Exactly.
I was chilling on, and actually, I ran into Dad, Lionel Johnson. He's the reason that Carnath was liberated, and then we kind of got lost and walked through a forest to a sand planet. So sorry for not being there to give you the little guided tour.
Yeah. But yeah, Zabra explains, the lion's back, shows the projection. The hermit's like, oh my god. Like, he's really shocked. But Bale's just like, no expression. And Zabra was instantly like, wait, you should be, shocked or surprised, but you're showing no emotion. It's almost as if you know already.
Because he was there, yes.
And the hermit's like, oh yes, I thought this must be true. I could sense it on the tides of the warp. Wait, you're a librarian? Yeah. Oh. So, bollocks. But yeah, Baelor basically threatens Zabriel and the other one, saying like, look, we know it's not really Dad. It's something like, it's a ploy to try and capture us from our little brothers. So the only one I can really trust is Sethrax and co. And so I'm not going to go with you, but if you get in our way again, we will destroy you, blah, blah, blah.
Ah, you fool.
And the hermit's like, well, I'm going to come with you. I'm probably not going to fight, but I'm going to come purely on the basis that if it really is the lion, then I need to see it with my own eyes.
Yeah, of course.
So Zabriel and co end up going back to visit Lion. Lion's like, oh, did you meet that fool? And it's like, yeah, I found 3 more. It's like, you keep finding them in the fucking freeze.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually say that, though.
It's like you almost have a fucking Tamagotchi collection of Fallen that you just keep bringing out the closet every time you go for a walk.
It's like a Pokeball.
God.
So, Zabriel, I choose you. Zabriel.
That's terrible, Remleiz. Terrible.
No, it's not as bad as like, Cypher, I choose you. Cypher.
Ha! Oh, for God's sake.
I'm sure there's going to be at least one person in the comments who doesn't get that.
Maybe not, but at the same time, that joke is still terrible, and you should feel bad.
I mean, I could always use the soundboard for, the drum,
I can't hear it.
Well, that's your fault then.
No, that's your fault for trolling me with it.
What else happens? Oh yeah. While Zabriel was away, Lion ends up forest walking again, just by himself, and he sees the fishing king again. But this time, it's in the ruins of this old castle. He sees the king just sitting there, like on this throne, and he goes to approach him, and then he hears a voice saying from behind him, "It's like, the reason he didn't speak to you last time is because you didn't ask the right question." He turns around and to watch her in the dark again. He's like, right, so I need to ask this guy the right question before he even respond.
Brilliant.
Okay, who are you? No response. What are you doing here? No response. And every question is just no response, except as he's trying to question the king, the shadows behind him start growing bigger and bigger and bigger.
As if it's like you are running out of chances to ask.
Yeah. And then Lion ends up coming back into the real world, back on the space station, on the ship, or whichever, I can't remember what off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. It's been a short minute since I read the book.
Yep.
But anyway, Carnath is now being subjected to a full-scale attack by the 10,000 Eyes. Mm-hmm. Like a full-scale attack. Like the world is burning at this point.
Yeah, and with no Lion and no Astarte's garrison, really, they're not going to do very well.
No. The only location on the planet that doesn't seem to be burning is that chapter keep.
Oh, yes.
The Rubrication keep is like, why have they left that untouched? Well, clearly it's a trap. It's like, yeah, but sometimes to spring a trap, you have to walk into it.
Yep.
So Lion and the Fallen make their way up towards the keep, and then a figure teleports in front of them, and it's the captain of the Dolorous Guard, Sethrax's Slaneshi bodyguards.
Okay.
And it's just Space Marine who's like almost as big as Lion. All his proportions are, he's really disproportionate, like oversized eyes, overly sharp cheekbones, overly long chin. Basically like a bug-eyed Antonio Inoki.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's fun. Not.
Yeah. And it's like, my Lord Sylvarius wishes to meet with you, Lord Primarch. But I will only tell you if you can land a blow on me. If you can hit me, I'll tell you.
This will take all of 3 fucking seconds.
Yeah, Lion's literally like, I'm not going to bother with this. Zabrio, kill him. Zabrio ends up taking the guy's head off, lands on the floor, splat, and the guy literally just picks his head back up off the ground, puts it on his head, and is like, bye.
It's Garrus from Mortal Kombat. Bring it back full circle.
And all the other Fallen's like, great, now we're supposed to go. And Zabrio's like, well, at least we know where we got to go next because he told us. He didn't say anything. What? I heard him perfectly. No, he didn't say anything. Oh, fuck. Right, we got to go to this world, apparently. That's what I heard in my head after I took the guy's head off. You might want to keep an eye on me just in case.
Yeah, just in case I've got some sort of warp tank going on in my head.
So they get inside this little Cobra class escort, because that's the ship they have. This little Cobra. And they make their way to the location, to the system, to this world. And they find this, what looks like a very small moon orbiting the world in geosynchronous orbit. And they scan it, and it's like, this has a very high deposit of calcium? It's a moon made of the bones of every single person that used to live on this world.
Oh, that's just incredibly grimdark.
Of course, yeah. They end up hailing Sylvarius like, yes, I'm here, I'm coming, so as you can see, I didn't bring anyone with me. You know, I'm going to trust you to let us come in peace. And Sylvarius like, oh, of course I will, yes, like, I'm not going to shoot you, of course I'm not. Cuts transmission, Lion says, right, if you get fired upon, flee, but before you do, blow that thing up, please. It offends me.
Yes, of course it does. It's an abomination.
Yeah. And Lion's like, now, we're going to launch a sneak attack, but we're not going to use teleporters, we're not going to use drop pods or anything like that. We're going to forest walk. So, basically, Sylvarius...
yes, because Lion can do bullshit.
Yeah, he can now. So Sylvarius and Baylor end up getting to an argument, and Baylor's like, what the fuck is Lionel Johnson, you muppet? He's going to kill us all. It's like, yes, but if he tries to launch an attack, we'll just blow it out of the sky. We've got these shields in place to stop teleporters, because they blocks teleportation. He can't get in. Why can I hear bolter fire? It's like, we've just been flanked by Lionel Johnson. Yeah, you know what that means? Every time Lionel Johnson flanks someone, it means they're dead.
Yep.
We're fucked.
yeah, you are indeed fucked because Lion is overpowered. Primarchs, hello.
So Lion and the Fallen end up just like butchering their way through a whole bunch of beast men. The Dolorous Guard end up turning up along with Sylvarius, and Sylvarius is like, ha, so you've fallen into my trap, Lionel Johnson. Ooh, I'm going to shoot with this lightning bolt. Lightning bolt just fizzles out on Lion's armor. I'm going to try again. Bing, just fizzles out again. Well, fuck. And he just runs off.
As you would, because you're doomed.
Yeah. Lion sets off in pursuit, leaving the Fallen to face off against the Chaos Space Marines. They win, by the way.
Of course.
Lion chases Sylvarius through these corridors. He's faster than Sylvarius, but Sylvarius knows the layout of the place better, so Lion's like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going. Sylvarius goes into this room, which is basically like the governor's throne room on this palace.
Okay.
And then Lion slows down, and he realizes, if I just run it, it's probably a trap, so I'm going to be very careful. Slowly opens the door, slowly creeps inside. What's that giant mirror hanging from the ceiling?
Oh, God.
And then Sylvarius like, surprise, motherfucker! Warp blast. Like magical warp chains made from human blood. Literally, like all the iron from the chains is made from the blood of everyone he's killed on the world.
Grimdark's gonna grimdark.
Waka waka. So Lion's now been chained up completely. He can't move because of sorcery. And Sylvarius announces his plan, after basically stabbing him with, cutting him with this blade, this magical chaos blade. I've forgotten the name of it.
Please don't be Fulgurite again.
It's not Fulgurite. It's something else. It's called like the Fever Blade.
Right.
It's basically implied to be the thing he created using these Blood Angels' blood from the Ruby Crescents. Yeah. No, it was Baelor who ended up cutting him, if I recall, I think.
Either way.
And basically, as Lion's chained up and he's been cut by the Fever Blade, he starts slowly being pulled into the mirror. And Sylvarius announces his plan, saying like, aha, I'm going to have a demon possess you that's going to be in service to me, so I can have a pet Primarch running around to do my bidding.
You think a demon is powerful enough to possess a Primarch, then you've got another think coming, buckaroo.
As this is happening, it's like he's doing his grand villainous monologue, gets blasted with a shit ton of bolter fire. Because the Fallen just burst in, it's like bang, bang, bang. Lion's shouting, shoot the fucking mirror! And the Fallen immediately just shoot the mirror. The mirror explodes, molten glass, molten silver, coats Sylvarius, he's screaming because, molten silver, ow.
Ow.
And then he turns into this silver angel form with huge wings and claws and everything.
Oh,
because
God.
as you do. Kills a couple of the Fallen, breaks the arm of some others. Lion's still trying to break out. Meanwhile, as he's watching this, as it's all happening, Baelor's just sitting in the corner going, what the fuck is it? No, this is bullshit, man. This is bullshit. So Baelor ends up taking the Fever Blade and stabbing Sylvarius from behind with it, just by punching through his armor. That causes Sylvarius' concentration to break, for the chains to loosen. Lion bursts out of his chains.
Yep.
Kills Sylvarius, but before he dies, Sylvarius ends up mortally wounding Baelor.
Oh no, diddums. Anyway.
Oh no. So Sylvarius dies. Baelor asks for a clean death and forgiveness. So it's like, fine, I'll do it. Cut your head off, bang. There you go. Some of the Fallen are dead. Zabriel's got like a broken arm. It's like, yeah, this is pretty fucked. Yeah, but what can you do? We then cut to another forest walk scene where he's at the location before, the river where the Fisher King was.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side there is a castle, like a keep.
Is it the same one as earlier?
It is the same one as earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
And he sees the Watcher in the dark, and he says, last time I was here, you said I wasn't strong enough. Yes. Am I strong enough now? That remains to be determined. Good enough. That's better than no. So Lion makes his way... Yeah. So Lion makes his way towards the door. He's about to open the door, but the door opens, and a figure steps out. It's Leman Russ.
Oh.
And Russ goes, hello, traitor, and attacks him.
Oh.
And Lion's like, yeah. And Lion's like, wait, I'm not a traitor. He's like, yeah, you are, bitch. Punch, punch, punch. Throws Russ aside. Russ is now Horus.
Uh-oh.
It's like, hi, you're a traitor. It's like, no, I'm not. It's like, oh, but if you didn't fuck around blowing up all these other destroying all these other planets, you could have gotten to Terran time. It's like, no, but you're dead. It's like, did I die though? You weren't there to see it. Yeah, all you know is that Daddy died. So punch, punch, slash, dodge the talons of Horus. Horus throws a punch. No, Lion throws a punch. Horus blocks it. Horus is now Perturabo, and Lion's like, okay, whatever you are, you could at least take in the form of a brother I could have given two shits about.
Savage. Unkempt savagery.
Yeah. And Perturabo goes like, so, well, maybe if you kept your wits about you, you could have seen the fact that I was double-crossing you on Dimamar.
Which you did.
Yep. Punch, punch. He's now Jagatai Khan. Maybe if you were faster, you could have gotten to Terror on time.
Which
like,
you didn't.
Punch, punch. Nope. Punch, punch. Turns to Magnus. Maybe if you were smarter, you could have foreseen all this and stopped it from happening. Magnus throws Lion, and Lion's like, oh, yeah, now I know this is fake, because Magnus could never hit that hard.
Why is Lion such a savage? Like, just a childish little savage.
Turns to Fulgrim and is like, maybe if you were better, you could have, just all around better, you could have stopped this. Turns to Gilliman, maybe if you were better organised, you could have prepared for this. Turns to Ferrus Manus, if you were more determined, you could have stopped this. And then turns to Sanguinius, who very sadly says, and maybe I could have lived.
Ow. Ow, 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 ow. That is a low-ing blow, because Sanguinius was going to die whether Lion got there or not. In the greatest of respects, if Lion had got there, they wouldn't have shot the Vengeful Spirit out of the sky, and there's no way Sang was going up there without the Emperor and all that. So, sorry, Sang was dying either way.
Yeah. And then the figure vanishes, and then he hears laughter coming from the shadows. Turns round, it's Conrad Kurz. Basically, the arch nemesis.
Yeah.
And it's like you claim that I was, the real savage and, merciless one, just massacring populations. You killed entire worlds. I merely killed just a portion of a world to bring it into compliance. And guess what? It was quicker and it was cleaner. Less people had to die.
Good God. Jesus, this is just a prime-up bitch slap beatdown.
You have to admit, Kurz had a point.
Kurz has a lot of points. Kurz is usually correct. He just does all the wrong methods. And even in this case, his methods might be better than Lion's. So, he has a point. He usually does.
It's like, you massacred people, you tortured people. It's like, yeah, but I only did it for 1 million people to bring, 10 million into compliance. You just killed 10 million people.
Yeah.
What's
who's
better?
the worst? Yeah, who's worst?
Who's the monster here? Because it ain't me, bitch. And end up fighting again. But as the fighting's happening, Lion sees this flash of light every now and again in the background.
Right.
It's the shield. Now, I'm not talking about, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and all that.
Why is the Emperor's shield which we don't even know if the Emperor even had a shield, because it just looked like his fucking armpit guard, literally sat in the Lion's pocket forest dimension that has never been mentioned until today.
I'm getting to that. So he takes up the shield. He can feel the power of the Emperor coursing through it, and he hits the thing he's fighting, and it just bursts into a shadow and dissipates. And basically what happens, that this shield was left for him by the Emperor, and that apparition was left there to guard it. Why, I don't know, but it's there because of Emperor Deus Ex Machina bullshit. That's how he gets the shield.
Is so fucking dumb.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I like the way he got his sword. Okay, and he just found it in a reliquary of a Space Marine chapter, and it was actually originally meant to be a double-handed, a spy-hander. Okay, fair enough. It makes sense if he just found it. Okay, yeah, explains it. Pistol, okay, it was a gift from a planetary covenant. It was an Archaeotech pistol. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Magical shield in the Shadow Realm, guarded by a demonic version of every single Primarch rolled into one. What?
Yeah, if you're gonna make Lion have the Emperor's shield, then fine, but Lion should have got it from the Emperor. And by that I mean either Lion takes it up after the Emperor dies and has it with him, and just no one knew about it, not even Azrael, obviously, only the Watchers knew and they just gave it to him when he was ready. Or it's the Emperor comes to Lion in a vision, let's say in the forest dimension, a vision of the Emperor appears and creates it for him or something.
I have a better idea.
Go on.
Right, so post-heresy, the Dark Angels received, an actual chunk of the Emperor's armour. They received, the right gauntlet of the Emperor's armour.
Which went on to become the Crux Terminatus pieces, yeah.
Yes. Imagine if part of that armour was later taken, but was kept on Lion's person. It's like a talisman, it's like a reminder of his failure type of thing. And then he would go on to take that and then forge the shield himself using a fragment of the Emperor's armour.
That would work.
That would have been a better idea, I feel. Because, this reminded me of my failures, and now it's going to be a reminder of the deeds I will do in the future.
Yeah, just have a less Deus Ex Machina-y reason that comes further out of nowhere than an RKO to explain it. Like, obviously, we know they've done this before with the Emperor's Sword, which I'm aware they've changed the story on that multiple times, but at least they tried to have a reason other than magical bullshit for why Guilliman has the Emperor's Sword.
I mean, I prefer, with the Emperor's Sword, I prefer the second reason that was ever given, because like the first reason, Cole gave it to Guilliman along with his new armor, but the second reason, which makes the most sense to me, is that when he went to Terra and spoke with the Emperor for a day and night in the throne room, he got it from the Emperor himself. That makes the most sense to me. He gets the Emperor's Sword from the Emperor.
Yeah, it was...
There was actually a situation where he was in the throne room, he spoke to the Emperor, he was there a day and night, and the Emperor was originally stated to have had the sword laid across his lap. That makes the most sense. But then they retconned and said, no, he had it with him in stasis all the time. It's like, that's stupid.
Yeah, him having it all the time is stupid. Like, Cole having it, I can live with. But, yeah, certainly...
It's marginally less stupid.
Yeah. But there's at least,
I think
Cole could have kept it, Gilliman had given it to him or something, and said, keep this for safekeeping alongside the Primaris project.
Yeah. But I think, realistically, Guilliman getting it from the Emperor whilst he was in the Emperor's throne room makes the most sense.
Yes, I agree.
But, yeah, I feel that with the Emperor's shield, it would have been better if the Lion himself forged it from a fragment of the Emperor's armor. So it's like, this is why it's got the Emperor's power coursing through it, because it was actually made from his armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just say that he had a fragment of the armor kept on him as a talisman to remind him of his failure, and he basically his cross to bear, so to speak. Because that would also add to the the redemption arc, because the Lion's clearly on a redemption arc.
Yeah, either for himself or his legion, whichever.
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah, so I think that would have worked better personally. But yeah, that was. Before we get to the end, I almost forgot the epilogue. It's like a few weeks later, Astropath's been broadcasting throughout Imperium Nihilus, the Lion's back, the Lion's back. They've had to deal with the occasional Orc raider, but, it's 40k, of course there's going to be Orcs. Orcs are fucking everywhere. Helmsman goes, warp translation, multiple incoming vessels. And it's a Blood Angel fleet.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Lion sees the fleet, and at the same time, he's both happy and sad, sad because he's reminded of Sanguinius, who's now dead, but happy because, okay, well, his sons are still around, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, and we know that Dante brings Lion to fight Angron in Arcs of Omen 5, so they've got to cross paths at some point.
Exactly. Lion's ship gets hailed. We heard the Lions here. Permission to come aboard. Permission granted. 3 Thunderhawks board the ship, and disgorge 60 Blood Angels, which is a lot, let's be honest. That's over half a company's worth.
Yeah, I mean, it's either a guard of honour or are you really sure you want to pretend to be Lionel Johnson today?
Yeah, exactly. And they immediately go into parade formation. The Fallen go into their own very miniature parade formation.
Yeah, why not?
Lion's standing there just watching them, and he sees Dante come out of the Thunderhawk, with his golden armour and his golden death mask of Sanguinius with a sad expression on. And as soon as he sees Dante, Lion goes absolutely ballistic. He just rips into Dante saying, "Who the fuck do you think you are wearing my brother's face? Seriously, what the actual fuck, you little shit," kind of thing. Now, as he's going off in his tirade, all the Blood Angels are basically pulled up all their guns and just getting ready to aim them at the Lion, because oh shit, he's getting very angry, and he's threatening our chapter master.
Well, you would, and you're not going to stop him, but he is.
No. And then Dante just removes his helmet. "I'm Commander Dante, Chapter Master of the Blood Angels. And yes, I can see that you are indeed Lionel Johnson, because only a Primarch would have recognised another Primarch's face without hesitation. I should have known this already because it's happened before." "What do you mean it's happened before?" "Oh, we thought you knew. Guilliman's back as well." "Yay, I'm not alone." The end.
Well, that's one way to end it.
Well, he doesn't cheer, but it literally, last words "I'm no longer alone. Rebute." The end.
Fair enough. Okay, I like the way they set that up, because obviously they had to get Lion and Dante into the same room somehow to set up Arcs of Omen 5, so that makes sense, and it makes more sense than they found his stasis casket because the Watchers conveniently left a key under the doormat. That makes more sense at least. So that's good. And Lion being pissed at Dante for putting on a Sanguinius mask. Yeah, because it's actually kind of morbid when you actually stop and think about it. Because it is very grim to walk around wearing your dad's crying face. Like, yeah, it's weird and it's grim. So I get why Lion blows a gasket at him.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm really glad Dante handles it well as well. Probably the Gilliman experience is like, actually, yeah, this isn't going to go well if I'm walking around in the death mask, but it helped with Gilliman, so let's make sure.
Yeah. And on that note, given the time, we shall call an end to this episode. So,
holy hell, how long was that? Like, have we done like 55, have we done an hour? Or was it under an hour on Lion Book?
Just under an hour for the book.
Jesus.
Yes, I am well spotted. Hey! Sorry,
God damn you.
bad joke. I'll just spam their soundboards next time. But anyway, thank you very much to everyone who tuned in for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, this has been Remleiz from 40k Theories.
And this has been Neve from Tactica Imperialis. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go do some revision. I've got a title to defend.
Good luck with that. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.